What is the essence of the relationship between Thailand and Russia?
Our relations are based on the mutual respect, respecting each other's history, culture, traditions. Because Russia previously experienced a lot of attempts of, interference from outside to our domestic affairs. So our diplomatic practice is not to interfere somebody's, domestic affair. We just try to develop mutually equal and mutually interested relations. Sustainability, stability, and following the historical traditions and historical legacy, it's very important for Russian-Thai relations.
There was just a high-level meeting between Thailand and Russia just several days ago, right? Can you share with us some outstanding aspect from that outcome from that meeting?
It's a very important event for us because after a long period of, just pandemic pause, we finally can sit together and to discuss the most important issues, especially now in the very, complicated geopolitical circumstances. We, we much more focused on our economic development and try to guarantee much more favorable conditions for international trade, for our bilateral cooperation with many countries, with anyone who is ready to cooperate. If sometime somebody will consider you're a bad guy,
right,
you should be ready,
right,
to use some alternative models and systems. So why we now just invite our foreign friends to to connect our newly established system, SWIFT-like model system. We had a lot of agenda to discuss, and we discussed quite constructively. We appreciate the very balanced approach of Thailand. I remember when the situation changed last February, and many countries start to think about joining or not joining sanctions against Russia. I remember Thailand said that to destroy bilateral relations is very simple, but to resume and to restore it might be very difficult.
Do you think Russia has been portrayed or painted pictures fairly by the foreign media?
We should understand that today world media are mostly monopolized by the Western government. So if we see that all Western medias, they monopolize the world space, information space, so everyone can see only one side vision.
Can I ask this? How do you personally see this Russia-Ukraine conflict winding down, though?
From the very beginning, Russia was ready, is, and would be ready for a peaceful settlement. And we repeated it many times. I just ask you maybe one simple question. Did you hear any peaceful initiatives from the Western countries?
But it's between...
They're just pumping Ukraine with weapons.
But isn't
They
it
escalating this conflict.
But it's between Russia and Ukraine, right?
This is not war between Russia and Ukraine. This is not about Ukraine. More and more people understand that this is war between Russia and the Western countries. I think that Western politicians, they don't care about Ukrainian people, how many people would be killed. Objective number one, to eliminate Russia as a big power, to destroy Russian economy, to remove Russia from the list of independent countries. But for us, it is very important to guarantee our own safety.
How?
No heavy militarized neighbor, as was decided maybe in the West concerning Ukraine. No NATO membership, definitely, because we never agree to see any military infrastructure near our borders in Ukraine. And of course, no Nazism in our neighboring countries. This is the most dangerous what we see today.
But Ukraine is such a small country compared to Russia, though. Is traditional war necessary?
What do you mean, small country?
Compared to Russia, it's small.
Estonia or Latvia is much more smaller, but, or Finland, but we never have problems with them.
Right.
But when Ukrainians start to bomb their own people, mostly Russian minority or Russian community, so how long we could see this tragedy? I believe that it was, how to say, it was one of geopolitical project started maybe in the second half of 19th century, when Western countries decided to create something opposite to Russian identity, to Russian culture, to Russian language, to whatever. And I repeat again, before that conflict, majority of Ukrainians, they use Russian language in everyday life. So how you can imagine such a normal model of your everyday life could be eliminated. So everything was prohibited. Even destroying monuments, not only in commemoration of the Soviet army because of the Second World War. Even they start to destroy monuments in commemoration of great poets and writers and artists like Pushkin or Tolstoy or Dostoevsky. It's a barbarian government, really.